here is the vise that has some play, and I'm going to disassemble and lubricate it and clean it and hopefully fix this. Let's go. So the patent, I'll make a review of this. The patent is quite good. It uses, I'll show it later, angled areas, give you the good strength and rigidity with minimal mass, with minimal total mass or weight, however you want to call it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to remove these nuts that are holding the jaws fixed to the whole system. Here are the two bolts. Now I need to remove this. I'm using a 13mm wrench for these two and 17mm for these other two. And let's get this loosened. Here is the bolt, M10 bolt, and these two for this particular vise, which is 120mm, these are two M8 bolts, the nominal size, not precisely what I measured. Okay, so I've unbolted it, and now I will pull it out. So this is the thread. It has a small section that protects it from debris and everything getting in, and the nut that this screws into is somewhere deep down. Let me try to catch it. The bolts, the threads that keep this all locked are inside, closer to the rear end of the machine. So this hole that you can see is just limiting this from going too far out, so to prevent this from disengaging. And so compared to that hole, this is roughly the position of the threads, as you can see here. So they are roughly here. So my point is that some parts will never, or this thing never get to reach the nut with where they are threaded, so this first section, but there is a small section that does reach the nut and is not protected by the debris cover. Yes, it's in the shot. So that is the tricky part, so that it doesn't get fully covered, and some dirt does get in when you're filing and grinding stuff. I have another vise where that is made in a different way to have it better protected, but with this vise that is not the case, so that's what we are working with. Now I want to wipe off any dirt and things, and I also want to clean this inside. There is no need to remove the other two bolts on the opposite side. I think that would be a futile effort. You can use some degreaser on the cloth to make it clean the excess grease better. So that's what I will go with. Okay, now comes the greasing part, and for this I can use practically any reasonable universal grease or whatever. In this case I'm using the bicycle grease that I'm already using, and so I don't need to put too much on it. I'll put just a little bit like this, make it even with my hand, and maybe some on the other side here, and maybe just a little bit more here in this section, and that will be spread as I'm screwing this in, and I expect it should be enough. Don't want to put too much to risk any grease attracting too much debris or anything. And I also need to lubricate these sliders, and for that we will use machine oil, nothing fancy. So any kind of machine oil that you can apply with a brush, or however you like to smear it across this to make sure that it's all lubricated. I'm using just my hand here, so a primitive method that works, doing the same thing on the opposite side. So okay, it looks clean. Let's try to lubricate it. Using any or other more firm lubricant will attract more dirt, so the benefits are highly questionable. Yeah, that should be enough. Yes, normal people use some kind of brush or similar for this kind of tasks. Okay, so it's lubricated now. I should be able to, the inside is clean, and I won't be putting any grease on the inside. This will lubricate it as I'm sliding it in, so I can just get this right back in, and everything inside is already clean. So just slowly, gently, making sure to align the threads there, to not cross thread it, and now it's going in. I will try to get it roughly halfway in before I do the final tuning, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So looking to get this is in the middle, and so I want to get these other two roughly in the middle, because this will be pinching it. So hopefully this should be well. So here we've got a ton of play, and now it's time to put this, and this is bone dry, and I will put some fine medium strength thread locker to assure that this stays in place. It's not recommended by the manufacturer. You don't have to do as I do, of course, and it won't be my fault if you run into any problems, but that's what I will do. So getting this all the way there, and then putting just oh, this is too much. I was too generous. So maybe just remove some with my finger. And now I need to retighten this nut. It will smear the grease and the thread locker where it needs to get. Okay, now I need to get it tightened all the way. Okay, it's pretty tight. Now, if I've done it properly, it should be over tightened. And when I try to unscrew this, the jaws will not move. So instead of this moving outward, I will just be unscrewing the thread without this moving. There is a preload of a spring inside here. Okay, that is as far as it will go. Now I should not be able to move this. Okay, you can see the gap here creating. Do you see the gap? I've created the gap. That means that this is too much. And now I will loosen these just as much as needed to remove that gap. As soon as I see this getting together, I will stop. There. Did you see this get stuck, get attached to this move? So that's it. Now I should have no play, as I have no, but this should move and spin smoothly. Yes, it does. So if you remember the play from the start, we fixed this. Okay, so we have it almost completely sorted out. Now I just need to return the two nuts, sorry, two bolts that were holding this in place to make sure it's properly aligned. And there is, as I said, a spring inside of this that is held by this little compression washer, like a washer that's pressed in to keep the spring inside compressed, and that spring makes sure that this section gets pushed back into this. So if I try to get some play to move this forward without this being engaged at the rear, that spring will push this back into this, and this is a stopper on this side. So it's a quite ingenious design. The downside is that I cannot remove it all and clean the insides of this mechanism inside here. So for that I would need some special tool designed to push the spring back in. To remove it, I think I could do that easily by applying some force if I notice something being rough here, but this generally does not let dirt come in very easily, and this side it just slides off, and so far it's moving okay, so no need to think too much of it, just letting it work. So that's the whole video.